Hi, my name's Jake.
I'm Curtis.
And we're here to talk about the next 3 episodes of WandaVision. Our last video was the first 3 episodes, and now we're talking about episodes 4 through 6. I've liked this show pretty much since the second that it started, but Curtis here was not super impressed with the first 3 episodes. Has that changed at all with the next 3 episodes?
Yeah, it finally kicked in episode 5.
Episode 5?
Yeah, I mean 4 was good, but episode 5 really kind of kicked it up.
Okay, well, we'll start with episode 4, which was kind of an interesting episode because it was almost all primarily outside of like the Westview.
Yeah.
Like it was like not very much about Wanda and Scarlet Witch as much, or Wanda and Vision, as much as it was about the characters on the outside trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
It was Darcy and Monica, and then the FBI agent from
James Woo.
Yeah,
Jimmy
who I'm just gonna call Asian Jim, which is what I've called him since the beginning, and that's what I'm gonna call him for the rest of his life. So I love him though. He's like that guy's really funny in the show.
Oh yeah, I've seen him in a couple other things. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's funny. Like every time I see him, anything cracks me up.
Was it you that sent me the article about them putting like his own show, or was it somebody else? Or
they're talking about doing an X-Files type show with him and Darcy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I didn't know that.
It's gonna be them two, doing like, I'm assuming like investigating like superhero type things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome because I love Darcy. I love Kat Dennings.
Yeah, I've got it on my notes here. Kat Dennings is like one of my all-time favorite crushes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, she's great. Like, I like her, him, and the girl that plays Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all 3 of them. Like, I would love to just follow along with them and see what.
I know I've seen her face in something, but I can't recall what it's from.
I really like her. I like all 3 of them, but yeah, Kat Dennings is like number 1. She's the best.
Yeah.
But so episode 4 starts immediately after Hulk snaps in Endgame and brings everybody back.
Yeah.
And she was in the hospital where her mom was dying of cancer. And it's crazy to think that like obviously in the movies everything's gonna be all like nicely packaged, which means that Hulk snapped and brought everybody back. And then Iron Man snapped and killed the bad guys, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Yeah.
But realistically, like, even bringing everybody back is a complete disaster, like a complete nightmare.
Yeah. Do you remember after the movie came out when we talked about it? Like, I was asking like, what happened to the people that were like in the airplanes? And stuff, like flying through the air.
I mean, even this, like, it's like she was like she comes back, from being snapped. She comes back. And then she finds out her mom died like years ago.
Yeah.
She died like 2 years after she was snapped away.
She's just walking around looking for her.
Yeah, so that's like there's a lot to unpackage with stuff like that. Like I feel like obviously like as far as like this goes, like it'll be like the movies go. I don't think they're gonna touch too much onto like what a nightmare it was really for everybody to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, realistically that was rough. Most of the episode is the 3 characters that we just talked about trying to like looking for from the outside in on everything that's going on with Wanda. And they're basically watching it like a TV show, kind of like we are. They find an old TV set and they're watching it, and it's like pretty much like a sitcom on a TV. So most of the episode is them just like kind of trying to figure out what's going on the inside and assessing like who all was stuck in there. There was like they had all those pictures hung up.
Yeah,
and,
I enjoyed that part. I thought that was really
good.
That was
it. It was interesting seeing them like work out like what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I like seeing because really at this point they're as confused as we are watching it. So like the journey that they're going through trying to figure out what's going on is pretty much the exact same journey that we're going through. Also trying to figure out what's going on. Like no one has any idea what's going on, and like even with these couple episodes, it seems like possibly Wanda doesn't fully know what's going on either.
No.
So it seems like maybe nobody knows what's going on.
I think she's starting to figure it out though.
Yeah, I think she's working on it a little bit, and Vision as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much episode 4. It was just from the outside, the other characters trying to figure out what's going on. That was it for that one.
I liked how the beekeeper, like what was it, Agent Franklin?
Oh yeah, they explained. They explained why why the beekeeper from the previous episodes had come through the sewer. Like you find out that like once you go in, you're kind of like morphed into something else.
Yeah.
Like Monica, she was wearing like the jeans and like the 60s or 70s style clothes.
Yeah.
And you find out that it's still made of the same material her bulletproof vest was.
Yeah.
So it's like it's still that. It's just like it looks different. It's like she's like shifted into that world, like to fit into that world.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. Like when she was shooting it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. So I like that. And yeah, that was pretty much all of episode 4. So then we have episode 5, which is kind of more of the sitcom and more of the characters on the outside trying to figure out what's going on. And it's a lot of seeing Wanda and Vision's family. Like the kids, they start out as babies at the beginning of the episode, and then they end up, one second they're babies, the next second they're toddlers.
Yeah.
And then later on they end up growing even older. They grow up to the age of 10.
10.
Yeah, that way, because she said that they had to wait until they were 10 years old to have a pet, and then they just grew into like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, that brings me up. I thought they were supposed to be twins. Like when they were born, she kept saying twins, right?
Yeah.
They don't look alike.
Well, I mean, they don't have to be.
I guess.
Yeah, they don't have to be like identical twins. Yeah. My favorite part of this episode. Well, there's 2 parts. I'm going to say aside. But one of my two favorite parts of the episode is when they are talking about how powerful Wanda is. Mm-hmm. And that kind of sounded like us talking, or like, anybody talking that's a fan of these movies, where they're talking about how in the fight with Thanos, like, she dominated Thanos, like, like immediately, like he literally couldn't defend himself.
She could have took him out if she
which I think about it, like Wanda in Infinity War. She destroyed the Mind Stone out of Vision's head while holding Thanos back when he had the rest of the stones. So, like, just imagine with that movie if, like, she had, like, put all of her effort into fighting him instead of destroying the stone in Vision's head. Yeah, she would have destroyed him there, too, with all the stones. And then, like, in Endgame, she had him out in, like, 30 seconds. Like, he was done. Like, he ended up having that ship, like, shooting down. Yeah. At him, like, because like he had nothing he could do to her.
Yeah, I wasn't even really that big of a fan until like that scene when she was fighting him by himself, and I was like, all right, no, she's got my respect.
I like how they were kind of like debating on who was stronger between her and Captain Marvel.
I think she is.
Oh yeah, without question she is. Because I mean, Captain Marvel, she was very strong, but like even like you remember he took the Power Stone out and knocked her out. Like, I mean, no Power Stone's gonna take out Scarlet Witch. Like, I mean, he had the the Infinity Gauntlet fighting her in Infinity War, and he was struggling to even get to her.
Which stone was it that she got her power from?
She got it from the Mind Stone too.
Mind Stone.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I think it was the Mind Stone.
It might have been. I don't know.
But yeah, either way though, she is incredibly powerful. That was pretty cool. And then the other part of the episode that was amazing was the very end. Oh wait, before we get to that though, she ends up confronting the agency that is like kind of investigating her.
Oh yeah, that was pretty
Sword.
Cool.
Yeah, she comes out of her simulation and she confronts them, and it was pretty awesome. Like she took control of that situation like immediately. And that was great. I love seeing her confront them, and it also kind of shows that like she's not like as bad of a situation as this is. Like you can still tell she's not a bad person. Like because Monica said that when she threw her out that she could have killed her, but she chose the fact that she let her live, like she wasn't trying to kill her. Yeah. So like as crazy and like terrible as this situation is, at the end of the day, like really Wanda's just like very troubled. She's not trying to be a bad person. So I don't know. I'm very excited to see like where this ends up. But then there's the little cliffhanger at the end, which they get a knock on the door, and Wanda answers it. And it's Quicksilver, but it's not Quicksilver from Age of Ultron. It's Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, Evan Peters. And I was pretty excited. Like I was like, through the roof when I saw him, because like out of those 2 Quicksilvers, I was like super. I mean, he was just fine, the one in Age of Ultron. But I thought Evan Peters stole the show in every X-Men movie he was in. Yeah. I thought every scene that he was in was like the highlight of the movie.
The scene where he's like getting all the kids out of the exploding action.
Yeah. I love that, and I love what was the other one?
The kitchen scene where he's
when he's in the kitchen. Yeah. So that was pretty amazing. So seeing him was like exciting, and not only because it was him, who I'm a huge fan of, but also because of like what that means. Like if they're going to bring him in from the X-Men movies, because now Disney owns Fox, which means they own X-Men, which if I had to guess, that was probably a huge reason they decided to buy Fox. Because at this point, I think Marvel is Disney's like primary moneymaker.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even like, first of all, they had Endgame and Infinity War, which are like 2 of the biggest movies of all time. But like, I mean, just in general at this point, like I think Marvel's their big money maker. So I think like buying Fox and having all those other characters they can use was like that was a no brainer.
Yeah, it was well worth the money they spent.
But like now that they have Fox, they also have the X-Men, which is why Quicksilver's here, and that just like makes me so excited for like what else they're going to bring in.
Yeah.
Like who knows who else we're going to see? Because I know they've already said that the new Deadpool movie is going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's still going to be rated R.
Yeah.
So
he's supposed to be doing like something with Spider-Man at some point.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's guaranteed, but
they'll have to PG that one down though.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if he's going to be with another character like Spider-Man or something, he's going to have to they're going to have to tone him down from his movies. But the thing with Deadpool is they can. Like, he can make jokes about how he has to be toned down in the movie. As long as we still get his individual R-rated movies, I don't think anybody's going to be upset that he has to, tone down his cursing, in front of Spider-Man. Yeah. Especially when you can make jokes about that. Like in Deadpool 2, when he kind of makes jokes about, the first time he was Deadpool, which was awful. Or, when he makes fun of, the Green Lantern movie,
Yeah.
So, stuff like that, it's it's really hard to, mess up Deadpool. He can make fun of anything that's going on.
I don't know. Don't say that because then they're gonna actually mess him up.
Well, whatever. But so that's pretty much it for episode 5.
Yeah.
So then,
actually, is it just me or is it Agnes? I know they're all being controlled, but is Agnes is different control from it. Something is more off with her than anybody else.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I think that happened in episode 5 is where Vision starts tapping into people's brains outside of the control of Wanda.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're freaking out. I mean, you have to imagine they're spending 24/7 being controlled by Wanda. And so when Vision finally gets a little glimpse inside of their brain outside of Wanda's control, they're panicking. So
yeah, he gets Norm, the guy that he works with first, right?
Yeah. And then later on he gets her at the red light or the stop sign.
Yeah.
And so that's crazy to see. Vision in these couple of episodes, he's trying to figure out what's going on because he doesn't we find out that he doesn't really remember his life outside of what Wanda has created, but he does know that he's trying to help her or that he's trying to help these people, but he doesn't know what's going on. He has no clue what's going on. He's clearly not cool with what's happening either. So, but that was pretty much it for episode 5, and then episode 6 was the big one I thought for me.
Why? Because Quicksilver was in the whole episode.
Oh yeah, that obviously helped. That can't hurt. But also, it was a Halloween episode.
Yeah, well, I didn't think
awesome.
about
And another thing is, did you think about so in episode 5 when Vision's trying to figure out what's going on, he brings up that outside of their kids, there's no kids in Westview.
Right.
In episode 5. In episode 6, the town is filled with kids. So she definitely, I don't know if he had just never seen them, or if she has rectified that in between episodes and pulled in a bunch of kids into her little world. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was kind of cool. One thing was in the episode that was kind of exciting was seeing all the characters dressed up like their comic book counterparts.
The original.
Yeah, they all look, kind of comic accurate in the show, but not exact. And these were very Halloween style costumes of their outfits from their costumes from the comics, and it was pretty cool. It was kind of cool seeing Quicksilver look just like he did in the comics, and Scarlet Witch, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I enjoyed.
I saw that they have pop figures of them in their Halloween costumes. Yeah, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna want those. So
the commercial that it shows, the '90s action, the claymation.
Yeah.
Magic. What was it called? The magical something. And it just shows the kids sitting on the island just withering away into it.
Yeah, that was
I was
cool.
that's kind of messed up, even for Disney there.
Yeah, that was kind of amusing. Yeah, this episode it's a Halloween episode, and it's pretty much Vision kind of separates himself from the family. He says that he's off doing neighborhood watch, but really what he's doing is he's just investigating the town and trying to figure out what's really going on. Yeah. He talks to one of the citizens of the town, and she asks he ends up getting into her mind without Wanda's control, and she's like, "Are you here to help us? You're an Avenger." And he's like, "I don't know what an Avenger is." So clearly he doesn't know anything. Yeah. He's like, "I want to help you." He's like, "I don't know what an Avenger is." So clearly he has no idea what happened before Wanda's world. He has no memory of that.
Yeah.
And then Another thing is Wanda even brings up that Quicksilver does not look like he did in Age of Ultron. Like, this is not the same Quicksilver, like, physically, that she's known her whole life.
Yeah.
But then when they talk, like, you know, he's got all the same memories as that Quicksilver.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look the same.
That was my theory. Well, until you brought up the X-Men, that, like, him being from the X-Men series, like, my first thought was that, you know, since the actual Quicksilver is dead, like, she's just controlling one of the people from the town.
Him look like it.
Yeah,
right?
to make him look like it and just what she remembers him being like.
Right.
But then you brought up the X-Men thing, so that might blow my theory out of the water.
Yeah, I think it's just. I just think it's just like, you know, they bought X-Men and then they're like, look, there's no way to hide that, like, everybody was way more into the X-Men Quicksilver than Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
So I think that as soon as they bought Fox, they're like, all right, we've got him.
Yeah.
So Vision, he spends his Halloween trying to look around and, like, try to figure out what's going on. And it's kind of an interesting thing that we find out is that near the edge of town, the people are still under a bit Wanda's control, as much as, like, you know, they can't do what they want to do. But they're not living out their lives like the people near Wanda. So it seems like the further away from Wanda, the less control she has. Like, they're controlled enough to where they can't move.
Yeah.
But they're not controlled enough to where she can have them just living their life like she had all the people around her.
I wonder if she's doing that so, like, she's just freezing them to make sure that they stay there and don't get away, and then, like, if they ever go to that
area.
Yeah,
I think that's what I think about with the kids, like, where he was like, there's no kids. I think that the kids were already in the town.
Yeah.
But I think that she just had, you know, kind of like, she hadn't turned on the on switch to where, like, they were, like, doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So I think they were just, like, outside, you know, because you saw, like, you know, he was walking through the neighborhood and they were all, you know, frozen.
Yeah.
So all the kids were frozen, so I'm sure that's what's been happening this whole time. And we also find out that one of Wanda's sons have super speed, just like Quicksilver.
Yeah.
You know? So that was kind of cool. And the other one, I'm assuming, has Wanda's powers. Cause it was hinted at a little bit because he could tell that Vision was
something
in
was
trouble.
there.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool to see that. And outside of that, did you like when they were at the movie theater? Did you see what was on the movie theater, the sign?
No.
Yeah, when they were leaving the movie theater, or I don't know if they were actually watching the movie or if they were just walking by the movie theater, but what was playing was The Parent Trap and The Incredibles.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was like, out of those two movies, like, you know, they're going to go see The Incredibles. So that was pretty cool. I really like that. The big conflict in this episode is pretty much Asian Jim and Monica and Darcy are being kicked out because they don't want to, they're getting kicked out of the sword ordeal. The organization, because they are not wanting to deal with this situation like the leader of SWORD wants to. But the leader of SWORD is a fool. He's definitely, like, in the fifth episode, he tries to kill Wanda. It does not work out at all, and she ends up, you know, pointing having all the people with guns.
Yeah, all the soldiers.
Yeah, all the soldiers are, like, having their guns pointed at him, and then he tries it again in this episode. And it's like, there's two things. First of all, I think it's dangerous to kill her, even if they can, because you don't know what that means. Like, she could be the only one that could stop this. You know, like, what if this thing is, like, once they kill her, is independent on its own, like this world, and it starts stretching out, and she's not there to stop it, and no one else can.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so, like, really, like, she's the only she is potentially the only person, like, even though she started this, she's also potentially the only person that can stop it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And he's wanting to kill her. And on top of that is, even though I think that's dumb, on top of that, I don't know if he could physically kill her.
No.
It doesn't seem like there's much you can do. So you would think that you would try to work with her and try to, like, resolve this outside of just be like, yeah, we're just going to shoot her. Like, I don't think that's going to work well. As we were talking about earlier, you know, Thanos, who, you know, destroyed half of the universe, was no match for her in any shape, you know, any way, any form at all. Like, she was, yeah, so, like, if she could take it out Thanos with literally no effort, then I'm not sure that this guy is going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if Vision's going to have to, like, step in and convince her to shut it down.
I don't know. That's, like, clearly Vision's not cool with what's going on. And then we also, in this episode, he tried to escape Wanda's little simulation, and that did not work out well. When he was trying to come out, it was pretty much like him trying to leave that situation was like essentially, like, it seemed like it was killing him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did kill him, but like when it started stretching out or whatever.
Yeah, and then she in order to like keep Vision alive, because he had went out of her little world, she stretched out the world and made it larger to where he was back into it, and then he was fine. So I don't know, like, and then that's kind of how this episode ends, is with it just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is gonna lead to.
Like, I know she's super powerful and whatnot, but like, I wonder if expanding it the way that she did, the large amount or area that she did, if she's gonna have as much control over everybody, since she's got more to control now.
I'm not sure. It's hard. Well, it's hard to tell because first of all, she's made it pretty clear in these episodes that she didn't do this initially on purpose.
Yeah.
So whatever's happening was not on purpose to begin with. Like, now she's aware of what's happening, and she's trying to control it and make it what she wants. But it didn't start like that. It didn't seem like she like intentionally did this.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not sure if she even knows.
Or if she's just like going crazy.
I'm pretty sure that's a big part of it. And like, I just wonder how all this is gonna end, because I know this is like, they said that this movie, Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man 3 are all one big story, kind of like, not necessarily like it's all kind of like interconnected. It's all about a similar thing.
Okay.
Which means like all this is going to bleed into one another. So I'm wondering like how this, since this is the first thing that came out, is going to bleed into Multiverse of Madness, because I know Scarlet Witch is in that.
Does those movies take place after?
I'm pretty sure that those movies are going to take place.
Well, I guess they would have to, because
what it's kind of weird, because what I found interesting is I found, like, from watching these episodes, is you find out that this WandaVision is only happening a couple of weeks after Endgame.
Yeah.
Which means it takes place months before Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, that's what we'll get ready to say.
Which is kind of crazy, which kind of lends, like you know, in Far From Home, Mysterio said that he was from a different dimension, and he made it here because of, you know, all the stuff that happened in Endgame.
Yeah.
So like, he had like come into our world. And at that point I was like, you know, I guess like in this world anything's believable. But at the same time, this kind of puts more like legitimacy into him doing that, because like, now that we know that this happened before that movie, like, this could actually be an issue that goes on. You know, like, people might have actually come from other dimensions like this. I mean, Quicksilver may have, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So it seems like, that's not an outlandish thing to think now, that like Mysterio may have come from somewhere else.
It'd be really cool, like at the end of this season or whatever, like, I don't know how they would work it in, but like Doctor Strange comes in like the last scene. And then it just leads straight into Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, that would be pretty awesome. I think that there's a big chance that we're going to see Doctor Strange in this show.
I'd be okay with it.
Oh, I would love it.
Like, they're going to recast him.
Oh, that would be weird. It's Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
as a different Doctor Strange. I would.
Who was supposed to play him to begin with?
Who?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. I'm not sure about Doctor Strange.
Oh, it was Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they don't bring him.
I'd be into that.
I wouldn't.
Well, you know, originally Tom Cruise was going to be Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's weird because like, I have no interest in Tom Cruise at all. And Iron Man, as far as like the MCU, Iron Man is unquestionably my favorite. So like, it's weird to think that like in another world that would have been Tom Cruise, and I don't know if like I would have been into that into Iron Man. Like, I would have liked Iron Man, I think, either way, because I like Iron Man in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like, got cat time.
He tried. Yeah, Tom Cruise is Iron Man.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is Iron Man. That would have been rough. That would have definitely not given me the same joy that old Robert Downey Jr. did.
You don't know that.
So, but you know, I definitely don't want Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Now,
not now. After you've already seen Robert Downey Jr. do it.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think Jeff Goldblum would have made a good Iron Man, though. You know, that would have been pretty good. I mean, he was pretty good in Thor Ragnarok, but, you know, I think he would have been good Iron Man.
They should remake the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe where he plays every character.
I want to see more of his character from Ragnarok. When they take his ship and all those like lights and music comes on, and you find out that he just has orgies on the ship. I'm like, oh, this is the man.
To make a whole movie about it.
I would watch that.
A 3-series movie.
I would like that. I would like the like actual sitcom with that character. Like you know, like WandaVision is like obviously like a sitcom, but it's leading to something.
Yeah.
I'd like to see just a sitcom of Jeff Goldblum from what's his name, the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see just his life. You know. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for these 3 episodes. There's not really much else to talk about. How do you feel now at the end of episode 6 compared to how you felt at the end of episode 3.
I like it a lot better.
I do too. I mean, I liked it to begin with. Like immediately, I was like, "This is amazing." Yeah. So I think that this show is getting better. I think, like I said, I've liked it since like pretty much the very first second of the first episode. But I think it's getting increasingly better. I'm super excited to see how this ends and how this bleeds into everything else in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I do want to say that if you watch the first 3 videos, I made a prediction that she was being controlled, and I was very wrong.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that there's no one else. I think it's just her. I think it started on accident, but I think that now she's, mostly in control.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's gonna work out. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, so I guess that's it for these 3 episodes, and then we'll be back for. I'm not sure if there's 9 or 10 episodes in this season. So if there's 10, then we'll come back for the last 4, and if it's just 3, then we'll come back for the last 3. But either way, we have one more video for the first season of WandaVision. So, but outside of that, I guess we're done. So, take it easy.